All right, so we are kicking off this year by taking down our Christmas tree and setting up a GearTree. A couple of reasons why I'm really excited to try this out. I really like having a filming space where you just have to turn on the lights, the camera, everything looks good, and you just hit record. And over the last 6 months, we've been renovating the house, so I haven't really been able to really set up a good space. So I want to get back into it because when you do have a space where you don't have to worry about the camera angle and the lighting and everything's already pre-set up, it just makes things so much easier. So my plan is to get this space set up because as soon as you put down a couple of stands, it feels like a Mission Impossible course where you're trying to like dodge things and not hit a stand and not trip over a cable. So I think it would be awesome to just have everything consolidated, hang it off of one post. So let's go ahead and clear everything out and we'll start from the top. And with the magic of editing, we will make all this stuff disappear. Ready? How many times do I have to teach you how to fold down a C-stand lefty-loosey?
Show me.
No, it's lefty-loosey. You have to. This is actually pretty heavy duty. Now, when you order this, you have to know generally how tall your ceiling is. It doesn't have to be exact. You just have to know the range because these are adjustable to an extent. Balls. So the main pillar is super strong. I should have been a stripper. Just make sure you find a nice stud to press it up against or else this would probably go straight through drywall. So now we can start attaching some of these anchors and these feel really well built actually. Like once I lock it in, it's on there good. I can actually hang off it. I'm literally hanging off it. Woo! Now in my last space, I've been using these things called Varipoles made by Impact, which is kind of like the same type of concept, but they're quick attach and they've been perfect for something like a small light. Probably look pretty similar, but this definitely feels like it has a lot more strength. But the Varipoles are quick attach, so that is nice. What do you think, Ari?
Pretty cool.
Yeah?
I just remember the Varipole, you like cracked the...
Yeah, no, that's the first thing I said is like, make sure you find a stud on the ceiling. So I had one of these Varipoles set up just to store while we were renovating the house and I had it set up right here and actually made a little crack in the ceiling. Carrie was not happy with me. It was literally right after we finished taking off the popcorn ceiling and painting it and everything. So we're pretty much done setting up this GearTree and I will say, I'm really happy with the build quality. Everything fit together really nicely and it feels good putting it together. And when you tighten something down, it stays locked on. This arm is height adjustable, so I can bring it up, bring it down, and it just feels really good because it stays where it needs to be. And everything attaches on here with these clamps. And then you can drop the arms or accessory right into the slot and tighten it up. Now this is, I think, called a 5/8 inch baby stud, which is very common, which is nice because I already have a bunch of stuff that will fit into here. Actually, not this one. It's got this hex shape here, but if I feed this in through the other side, I think I should be good. And if you have some light stands, you're probably familiar with this, or some C-stands. Actually, speaking of C-stands, I could probably throw in like a 40-inch arm through here. All right, I got my C-stand arm here, AKA my self-defense tool in case of a break-in. Okay, so this barely does not fit through, but basically this pin is pretty similar to what you get on the top of one of these C-stands. And then from here, you can just kind of build it out to however layout you want. So there's a million different ways to set this up. And I'm pretty sure that this one is made for microphones. I actually think this would be great for a top-down camera. It's got a 1/4 inch right there. So like you can position this desk wherever you want, maybe put like a plank of wood with some nice texture on it, and then you can just position this wherever and then have another arm coming out for the frontal angle. Now this mount here is feeling pretty heavy duty, which is great because lights can get really heavy, and this one is mounted on at 2 different spots, but everything else is just mounted on with one. Now one of my biggest concerns is, am I gonna be able to place the light where I want it, or is it gonna be right on top of the camera? Well, let's try it out. All right, let's go ahead and fire this up. Not turning on, why? Oh, interesting. I think this cable went bad. I wonder if it's because I accidentally plugged it into the DMX out instead and try to fire it up. Luckily I got extra, so let me try the new cable and take 2. Oh, there it is. I forgot how bright the 300D Mark II is. You know, I have a hard time waking up every morning. I just want to go back to sleep, but I should just have this by my bed and every morning I'll just be like, oh. Okay, I'm awake. Now, if there's one thing I could live without, it's probably this tripod head. I mean, it works, but it's limited in range, and to make further adjustments, you have to use tools. Also, I'm not sure if this base plate is supposed to be an Arca Swiss or not, but none of my Arca Swiss plates are fitting onto here properly, so I'm probably just gonna come up with my own solution where I can adapt a 3/8 inch screw onto this baby stud and then just throw my own tripod head on here. For now, it should work. I do like this arm a lot. It's nice to just have that flexibility and height. But see how it's kind of like wanting to go up on its own? I just have to adjust it real quick. I'm just gonna go this way to lighten it. All right, so now we're all set up. So let's switch over to this camera here. And how does it look? Now, my biggest question is, can I place the light where I want it to? So right here, if I place the light literally right next to the camera, it looks like this, which looks nice if that's the full lighting that you're kind of looking for, but I want to see if I can swing it away and get a little bit more of an angle. And it seems like we have enough wingspan on this thing to do so. And I guess I could always add more of these layers to get this camera even further away from the post. And this is the Light Dome 2, by the way, which is humongous. So if it was a smaller light, you could get that light all the way over there. But I'm actually pretty happy with the distance I'm able to give the light in relation to this camera. I am liking how easy it is to maneuver all this, and I imagine when I'm done filming, I can just kind of swing everything away and tuck everything in the corner so that Carrie doesn't complain about me having gear everywhere. Now, instead of having this post go from the ceiling to floor, there is also the option to have it clamped onto your desk. But I'd probably avoid that because every time I touch the table or move anything around, it shakes everything attached to the table. So the camera would just be like this the whole time. All right, so here I kind of have to decide where I want the camera to be. And I can adjust all the positions, but the post, once I set it up, I don't want to have to move it. But there is a lot of natural light that does come in through this window. So I do have to make it work with this. I think I'm gonna do it so during the nighttime, I have one light coming this way. During the daytime, I use a natural light plus complement lighting by bouncing some light off the wall. Let's give that a shot. All right, so we got it slapped right there in the center of the closet. Man, how cool would it be if this whole set can just collapse into the closet, and once I get a door on here, I just hide everything?
Yeah, it's like out of like a techno nightmare movie. You know? Like a bunch of screens and stuff on it. It has all these moving arms and stuff.
This one actually has limited range right now because it hits this pin right here, you can see. But this knob is removable, and they all come with little pins that I can just tighten in with the Allen wrench, so it's flush. So I do feel like it's pretty well thought out. So this would be storage mode for the light. And then I can swing it out to here to have a nice light from my left side. And then when it's daytime, I swing it out like this and bounce this off of this wall right here, just to give it a little bit of kick. Because the placement of this window here, it kind of hits me from the back a little bit. If the window was here, it would be perfect. But this will just bounce off the wall right here, and it'll just kind of add to the window in a way. So I put in this arm right here so I could adjust the level of the camera, and I have 1, 2, 3 extensions. So I could literally get full range from being all the way over here. I could get all the way over here if I want to, and this will stay here. And then I got my overhead. It just peeks out just like that. Like I did add a few extra things like this for the thumbnail. This is gonna be so cool when it's all set up actually. So now I'm gonna have the light come over this way and bounce off the wall. Dylan, you wanna try sitting down in that spot? I definitely have to work on the background, but this is working. Let's go spin this around, watch your head. Yeah, look at that.
And then I go with the dramatic.
You like this one? It looks way cooler, right? And I could technically do this setup during the day, but I would just have to throw up a sheet of duvetine to cover this window. But I'm digging it. I'm getting 2 different lighting looks just by swinging this arm. What do you think, Dylan? Looks pretty cool, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right, Dylan, get out of my seat. This seat's only for beautiful people like me. And once I get my closet doors in, I can just tuck everything back into the closet, close it up, and seem like there's no set here at all. All right, so I went ahead and hooked up this microphone, and I'm not hating this shot. There is some light bleeding onto the background, and I might try to see if I can control some of it with this grid here. All right, let me go ahead and throw that on. And whoa, okay, that made a big difference. I'm just like hanging out here in the dark now. Might just need one of these to light up the background there. Let's see if we can get a little funky with these colors. Let's try seeing what kind of colors that this brings us. Yeah, like if you're like a gamer, you probably want to do some crazy stuff like this. So this is like a really popular type of color. Just throw that back there. Actually, I don't hate it. Or should I constantly just have it shift? So like every shot is like a different colored background. Honestly, I would probably go for like a sodium vapor type of color. Something like really deep orange and dim it down. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that there for now. I mean, the background is something that's gonna take quite a bit of time to dial in perfectly, but I got too much stuff going on today. I don't have time to think about that. We just found out all the baseboards and drywall that we put. We had to rip everything out because there's a leak just chilling behind the wall. All this got soaked. We have to pull all that out. All this along this wall all the way down. And then on this side where all this had to get ripped out. Awesome stuff, man. Buying a house. It's awesome, but it comes with headaches, I'll tell you that much. But this is awesome. We have the stripper pole in the middle, we have the camera hanging off on one side, and I also have a monitor hooked up so I can see myself, check if I have any boogers. And we also have this overhead camera right now, which I don't know what to do with right now, but it's there. And this light, all off of this one stand. I do think I want to get another one of these arms and put a boom mic up here so I don't even need to have one of these microphones in the frame. And I just want to do something cool in the background. I don't know what yet, but I just want to do something that looks a little more unique. And from here I could do a screen grab. I can show you guys the website. So this, I think, is what I got, the home studio setup kit. Now it is not cheap, $989, but I will say I am very, very impressed with the quality of this. And this isn't sponsored, by the way. Now, they did send this to me for free, but I didn't promise them anything. A lot of times when I get sent stuff like this, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes I get it and like the quality is crap and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this now. It's just taking up more space. It's cool getting free stuff until you have way too much crap and you don't know where to store anything. That camera battery died, so I do want to probably run power to all of this. For now, we'll just live with this shop, but yeah. Now, this is the home studio setup, which comes with all these parts, but I would actually probably go in and individually pick out what I need. So you would need the floor to ceiling stand, and then I would just kind of go and be like, okay, I want a few of these. But yeah, overall, man, like I'm excited about this setup. It's not just like stands sprawled out everywhere, so I can just take it all and just slide it back into the closet. Now, like I said, I definitely want to swap out this tripod head, but in the meantime, I think I'm just gonna swap out the base plate to fit an Arca Swiss so I don't have to constantly swap every time I want to just throw the camera on here. Easy way to do that is something like this. I'll link this down in the description. And this can work for pretty much any type of tripod, but it's just so nice having one base plate on your camera and then not having to constantly swap it out. So this adapter is 2 pieces, so it has the Arca Swiss base plate that I like to use, and then we just take the bottom piece, attach that. Probably one of the easiest ways to convert all your tripods into just one mount. All right, so here's how this setup looks during the daytime, and this is all just natural lighting, and see how that light kind of comes in from behind. I would prefer it to be a little bit more frontal. And then if I turn on this light, see how it's kind of this light sandwich. It seems a little overwhelming and artificial, and there's all these shadows. You generally want most of your lighting to come from one side, and the other side would be more of a fill. So actually what I might be able to do is actually blast this light so it's very bright, and then I just drop the exposure on the camera. That actually doesn't look bad because now they're not really fighting each other. This is just more like a fill light. But let's go back to my original plan. Gotta take this, swing it around. So before, light was only coming in through this window, but now I'm bouncing light off this wall, so it's almost like a bigger window. There, now things look a little bit more natural, right? It looks like it's just added light to the window. So let's compare the before and after. So this is with just natural lighting coming in through that window. But yeah, this is awesome. The flexibility, the speed of setup is awesome. I can just throw this back here. It definitely makes a big difference just having a solid setup where it only takes you a few seconds to set up opposed to 5-10 minutes. This GearTree definitely thumbs up. I'm really impressed with the quality of it. So links down there in the description. There are affiliate links, so I appreciate it because I need to fix a lot of the flooring and all that stuff. And end card time. Yes, like buttons appeared and stuff. Okay, so I think I might have an idea for back there. What if I just got a big old TV, like I see them for like $1,000 at Costco, and I just mount it back there, and depending on what kind of background I feel like, I just load an image and put it back there?